What's up, y'all? It's Matt. All right, so I keep getting this question: what's the difference between a freight broker and a dispatcher? They both work with each other pretty much all day, every day, but both very different roles. So let's talk about the difference, clean and simple. Let's rock and roll. All right, so let's start with a freight broker. They sit in the middle between shippers, those who need their freight moved, and carriers, aka like trucking companies that need to handle the actual transportation. So here's how it plays out. A shipper might say, I need to move this load of inflatable T-Rex costumes from Maryland to Georgia, and I've got a $1,000 budget. And for the record, no, that is not accurate. The broker takes those load details, posts them on a load board, and finds a carrier that's willing to move it for less, like let's say $800. Once the carrier delivers the load, the shipper then pays the broker $1,000, and then the broker, or like their factoring company maybe, pays the carrier $800. That leaves the broker with $200 profit. Brokers usually have direct contacts with shippers, so they're legally responsible for making sure that the load gets delivered. Their goal is to minimize costs and to maximize profits. That's where brokers have the major edge. They've got unlimited earning potential by being able to create relationships with as many shippers as they want, and they really can set whatever margins they want as well. And the more they scale, the more they can make. Industry average is about a 20% margin. So now let's talk about freight dispatchers. If the broker is the go-between for shippers and carriers, the dispatcher just works for the carrier. Their whole job is to keep that truck moving and earning money. And a dispatcher can have relationships with multiple drivers. And here's the deal though. The dispatcher finds a load for the carrier, maybe from a broker or directly from the shipper, ideally for them. And let's say they find a load paying $1,000. That dispatcher negotiates the rate and handles the paperwork for the carrier. So after the carrier delivers the load, the dispatcher takes their cut, which is usually around 5 to 10%. So if it's a 10% fee, that's $100 for the dispatcher, and the carrier keeps $900. The dispatcher's goal is to maximize the carrier earnings because their paychecks depend on it. But there is a catch though. Their income is capped by how much the carrier can move. And if the carrier isn't taking a lot of loads or only has one truck, the dispatcher's earnings are limited. And you can obviously only have so many relationships with so many carriers, and you only have so much bandwidth in the day in order to be able to book loads for these guys. So there is kind of a cap to how much really you can make on a daily basis. So here's the breakdown. Brokers work for both shippers and carriers, where dispatchers only work for carriers. So brokers, they control the contracts, they negotiate directly with shippers, and they handle pretty much the whole process. So they're responsible for getting the job done at a higher level, and they've got room to scale up their business. Dispatchers, on the other hand, they focus entirely on helping carriers get loads and negotiate the best rates. They're not working with shippers directly, and their earnings depend on how much the carrier is moving. So two totally different roles, but both important in the freight industry. Do you want to manage contracts and be able to scale, or do you prefer working closely with carriers and to keep them moving? And if this video helped you out in any way whatsoever, I know you hear it all the time, don't kill me, and let me know in the comments, would you rather be a broker or a dispatcher? I am curious. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.